All right, boys, we got a good one for you today. So, I'm sure as Warzone continues to move down the competitive side, there's probably going to be a big change of how tournaments are ran. Traditionally, or at least for the past year, the majority of the tournaments that happened were timed kill race tournaments, and they're very fun to watch. However, many people believe they're pure RNG. And what I mean by that is that it's basically the battle of who gets the best lobby. Because if you get filled with a bunch of sweats, you're obviously not going to get that many kills. Versus the other team who may have got a bunch of bots in their lobby, they're obviously going to get way more kills. And if there's any placement points involved, it's going to be very easy to get the first place and get all the additional placement points out of it. Last week, I played in a new format of Warzone tournaments. What we did in the $600 Goj Triathlon tournament was the first 4 games was some private matches, and then the top 8 would continue to go on to an odd man tournament. Now, not everybody's comfortable with odd mans, and odd mans might not be the future, but the future of Warzone tournaments is more than likely going to be private lobbies. If you fill up the lobby, it's going to be 150 people, and we're talking about some of the best people around going at it head to head. Nobody's a guppy, nobody's a bot. So since not everybody's a bot, you have to change the way you play the game. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to get the best possible placement and even winning the private matches format. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe. I'd highly appreciate it. Share it with a friend if he's competitive. Private lobbies are very interesting to watch. They're a little bit slow paced, but they're very good to watch. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitch. I streamed this whole tournament last week, and I had all 4 games up on Twitch. In this particular game, this is game 3 of 4. Now, in these private match tournaments, to make it so that placement isn't so big, but still important, what they did was they added a multiplier, a kill multiplier, so that kills are incentivized. You can't just camp in a building and win the game and win the tournament overall. What they did was the first place got a 2 times kill multiplier. So whatever you got in kills, you're doubling it. Second through 5th, 1.5. 6th through 10th, 1.3, and 11 through 20, a 1.1 kill multiplier. Anything below that, they didn't get anything. It's just whatever kills you got. That makes it so placement is important, but is not everything. In some private match tournaments in the past, so far, since it's still kind of early, nobody has like a dedicated format yet. They've done it primarily based on placement. So there's a lot of people that would just do 5 recons, 6 recons. They would find the end zone, and they sit there and camp the whole game. If they win, they maybe had less than 8 kills combined. In this game, I was able to do 3 times that and finish with a high placement to give us a great amount of points. All right, so the first thing that we notice that the zone is completely less than ideal. You have the majority of the map gone after first zone. What I'm doing right here is I'm going for the helicopter. One of my other teammates is going for another helicopter. We're going to take both helicopters, go to port. He's going to do the recon early game so that we have at least 1 or 2 zones further in so we can see second and third circle, have a good general idea of where the zone's possibly going to be, and continue from there. Since port was uncontested, we were able to get our loadout plus some extras pretty easily with no problems, and we were able to continue about the game without having to stress. So from here, we got our loadout, and you're going to pay attention to the loadout that I happened to grab. I grabbed a Farah and a Car 98K. Farah at the time, this was before the most recent nerfs, where it had the incredible strafing ability. That strafing ability is huge in certain gunfights. The reason I picked the sniper I picked up so that you can get some good long-range picks. You got to remember, the majority of the people in this lobby, in this private lobby, are good. They're not bots. They're not Timmies. You got to get whatever advantage you can. So if you could knock one person and make that go from a 3v3 to a 2v3, that one knock with the sniper is going to help that fight go more towards your advantage. I also ran stuns. A heartbeat sensor at this point is not that essential. Stuns is what's really going to make the difference between taking out a good team or not. So we're rotating towards zone. As you can tell by the mini map, by this gold line, We already have a good general idea where the next zone's gonna be. We're on the way to pick up another recon just so we can see another zone to see where it's generally gonna pull towards and try to predict where it's gonna be. And we roll, we see this guy up top of hotel. He's by himself. So we decide as a team to push him for an easy point. Now this guy was very good. He was very good. His mobility was off the charts. He was able to down me and send me to the gulag, mainly because I couldn't see him. Keep in mind that the gulag is another opportunity to pick up another kill. So if you end up going to the gulag, keep in mind that you can get another kill for your team. It's not necessarily a disadvantage. Obviously, if you die, it's a disadvantage, but keep that in the back of your head. All right, so this is now closing second zone. We were talking about possibly maybe getting another zone or another recon done so we can figure out where zone's going to be. However, we already have an idea where the third zone's going to be and possibly even where the fourth zone is going to be. The final zone ended up right about here. Personally, the fourth zone, fifth zone recon, it's nice to have. However, I don't think it's completely necessary. You have a good general spectrum of where everything's going to be. Anybody on a UAV is generally going to get picked up in this zone right here. So I wouldn't really necessarily recommend getting a fourth zone or a fifth recon. I think it's a little bit unnecessary at that point. I would focus on getting easy picks, easy zone holds, and go on from there. Now we see some guys running into the bunker. They look like they were unlooted. They didn't have too much going on, so we figured we push them, try to get some kills up. There's only 63 people left. I only had one kill. The other two only had maybe one or two. Unfortunately, another team rolled up on us, so you have to play it nice and slow and smart. So we got the 2 easy kills. There's still the guys in the bunker, so you have to be very careful how you push this because even though we feel like they don't have a lot, they could be strapped. Unfortunately, they got me. However, the team overall got all 3 of them. So at this point, we have 8 kills going into third circle, which isn't too bad. It's a pretty good start. However, we do need a few more kills because the more aggressive players probably have at least 15 at this point combined. So after I got revived, I was looking over to see if I get my loot. I noticed that you guys had rolled up. My teammate tries to come back in and try to get a flank on him to see what's going on. If you get a knock or two, it rotates in my favor. I remember there's guns on top, and I know it's safe to grab. I judge these players and how they kind of like looking around, walking around. I realize they're kind of not that very good. I challenged the second guy. I somehow choked that and lost, but I was recovered by my teammate, which is nice. This is all about cooperative teammate. There's not people, you don't, in private lobbies, you're not running around solo trioing, solo and quadding. It's close to impossible. Like I said, everybody is good. There's not too many bots. So now at this point, we're just really worried about positioning. I have my sniper out. I'm trying to see if I can grab whatever picks I can. If I can get a pick right there, if I was able to knock him, get him out down in the open, and able to get the finish, that is 1 more point for me, and also 1 less teammate on that team that they have. If they don't have money, they're down. They're down 1 guy for the rest of the game because there's not too many places to loot. There's not too many available buy seasons either. So you essentially knock them out of the game. And I know you're probably thinking, bro, you're just camping around. You have to remember and keep this in mind. The people who are in this lobby are higher tier players than me, the majority of them. You have to play a little smarter. They're going to probably play a little bit more aggressive. However, if they look at the list and they feel like, okay, this is a pretty solid stack, we can't just go running and gunning. They're going to be doing the same thing as you because they know in half a second their team could be dead and they're out. And right here, we saw some guys trying to out rotate the zone and trying to keep high ground. As you can see, I'm trying to live ping him because it was, through some trees and stuff. It was really hard to see. So I was trying to get a live ping and just shooting just below the ping. So hopefully I can get a headshot, get the knock. Hopefully the zone knocks him out. However, my teammates were able to pick him up, get the king out of here. So now you know that team's probably out. We called for a play to try to wrap behind them, grab whatever additional loot they have. We were pretty stacked, so we didn't really need it. However, any additional things that we could pick up, maybe a gas mask, because I don't have one at this point, and whatever equipment I could use to help us out, probably not a bad idea. You already know this side of this zone is clear, so you could use this to help yourself rotate. Now, at this point, you can say we have bad positioning. We're up against the zone. The zone's coming in. You got guys right in front of us on the right. You also got guys on the left in 2 buildings. They don't have to come out. They can easily just pick us out. We picked on 1 building that we felt like we had the advantage on. We focused on the left side. I threw my stuns in there. I failed both my stuns, unfortunately. Got in there, went in there, got the 2 kills, was able to clear that building out, and everybody luckily came out alive out of that one. Had I got my stuns up there, Flowers, which I believe was the first one up, probably would have got both of them on his own, but I managed to recover that. From this point, you see that you have about 100 meters to rotate into the next zone. You already know there's guys right here on your right to the houses close to you, where this Bertha is and this green ping is. So you have to be cautious of what they're doing. They're probably looking at you because they saw us rotate in. So you have to keep that in the back of your head. I called them starting to rotate. They were in the Bertha. They're starting to rotate, try to get out. Always want to rotate early and ahead. You don't want to be being held between the zone and people in front of you. I slow crouch this. I see one guy jump out. He got fried. The Bertha is really hard to hit, so I don't really focus on him. However, I notice if somebody's backing up, I put a bullet in the back of his head. I couldn't get the finish, but I didn't let it worry about me because the guy in the Bertha has to get out, then res him. So there's a good chance that he might die in that process. There's guys on my teammate that he decided to branch off his own, which is not necessarily a good idea. You want to generally stick with the pack. However, he was trying to get some kills with the vehicle, which is fine. Fortunately, my teammate died. However, I was able to pick up the kill. So I wouldn't say it's worth a trade, but it was a trade nonetheless. Now, at this point, this is 6th zone. It's getting pretty tight. There's only so many things you can do. We hold height. Everybody does know that I'm here. We see that there's 5 teams left. At this point, you have 5 teams left. You have height advantage. What you're thinking, or what I'm thinking, is you want to try to listen and hear, look at the map, see any pings that show up. Okay, you got some shots to the left, you got some shots to the right. Okay, there's probably 2 teams there. You already know you're the 3rd team, so there's 2 more teams unaccounted for somewhere. Check your right, check your left. Can anybody be behind you? Yes, no. If no, okay, so there's no, they have to be in front of you somewhere.
Sniping over the ridge. Straight ahead.
Call sniping over the ridge. Turns out they die, so now there's only 3 teams. So you know you got 1 in front of me and 1 in the house, plus us on the hill. We do have height advantage, however, we do not have zone advantage, so we have to move somewhere. So I'm looking for any angle I can get. I still hear him sniping in the house. I call them out that they're still in the house because that is the only safe house at this point and into the next zone. So whoever claims that house is more than likely going to win. I try to get the knock, don't get the knock, but I do put some damage on them. They are fighting, so I try to take this moment to third party and pick up whatever additional kills I can. I throw the stun up top. I do stun him, but I didn't push it only because I saw him to the left. A shot, I win that fight. Last man happens to finish me, which is fine. So it comes down to 1v1 at this point. Unfortunately, my teammate gets fried. However, we were able to finish 2nd place. At this point, we had 21 kills. That game with 21 kills with the 1.5 multiplayer for finishing in 2nd got us 31.5 points. Now, obviously, you want the first. That gives you twice the amount of points. That would have gave us 42 points. That would have been great and phenomenal. However, consistent high place and high kill games will win you the game overall. You don't necessarily have to come in first every time. You don't. As long as you can finish top 5 with a decent amount of kills, you're big vibing. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, how we ended up taking first place in the $600 Goj Triathlon Tourney for the private matches. We ended up finishing first seed. We went against the 8th seed, and we went further into the odd man bracket. Guys, if this video helped you out, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to share it with a friend who's getting into that competitive grind. All right. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitch. I streamed this tournament live, and it was a great time. Thank you, Goj, for hosting the tournament, and everybody for organizing. It was a great time. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.